team that you coached? You coached Air Force?
I coached Air Force,
Tell me
yeah.
what that was about.
It was an amazing experience. They told me I'm coaching these group of guys, and we went over, and I didn't know who's who. And it was funny just asking questions. I was asking the guy on the bench. I'm like, okay, who's the best ball handler? Who's the best shooter? Who starts? What offense have you been running? So it was coaching on the fly. I had Hamir and Jamal on the bench, and it was just a lot of fun. There was the greatest thing about the military, and when you're dealing with soldiers, is yes sir, no sir. I said, are you the best rebounder in America? And he looked at me and he goes, I can be, sir. Well, you got to rebound with two hands, sir. All right. But it was an amazing experience, and we were able to win at the end. It was just, it was a lot of fun. I know they really appreciated it, and they were there at the game, so we saw them at the end. So it was just an incredible experience.
Coach, you guys finished the game on a 21-5 run. What did you guys do differently during that stretch?
We just had to calm down. I thought at the beginning of the game we were just going so fast. Everybody was trying to make things happen rather than let it happen. Trust the offense, trust your teammates. Defense, we did a good job of adapting to how they were attacking us. Guys started making plays. We made blocks. We made steals. We rebounded the ball. And we just started getting into the flow of the game where it was just happening rather than forcing it to happen. And we were able to do that at the end. And as we started building confidence and started getting closer, the crowd got behind us, and it just took us to the finish line. So, but I would attribute it to just slowing down, having poise, and executing the game plan.
Can you give us an understanding of the new flop rule and what are the
Flop, that's the warning. It's a flop. They usually give you a warning, and then the second time they can give you a technical foul, and they get to shoot foul shots and have the ball. It's going to be a big play as the season progresses, and it could impact games. Guys that kick out their feet, the guys who go out and that could end up being a technical foul where they make a three, they wave it off, and the other team's shooting foul shots with the ball. So it's going to be interesting how that is the calls, because it can be a little bit. A personal call per se. Was it a flop? Was it not a flop? Do you go back and watch tape and say his leg kicks all the time? Whatever that may be, but they called it on Jaden.
Is there an understanding, or is there guidelines on what it is?
There is a guideline what they would consider a flop. Then they can go back to the video and watch it. But it was a personal call. They felt like he did. We felt differently, but it's their call. That's why they get paid the big bucks.
Is that a new point of emphasis in practicing for you?
We don't flop, So at the end of the day, we're not floppers. We're basketball players, and the rule, I'm sure, comes into effect with guys that kick and guys that But I don't know how you really determine on a tape if a guy gets hit in the chest and I fall back. Well, even if you're 250 pounds and I'm 145 and I do this and he falls over like the Incredible Hulk just hit him, I still hit him. I guess that we consider that a flop, because someone my size could never hit somebody that big. So I don't know how you determine that, but it's going to be a big play in the game this year. Could impact some games.
Are you surprised your team could dig out that early in the first game, the opener?
The first game you're learning a lot about yourselves. This is the first game that all of our players played. It was the first time with Quad A and Jada. It was like a dance partner, right? You dance a lot, you get a good rhythm with each other, and then sometimes when you're new, you can step on each other's feet a little bit. And we were rushing, stepping on each other's feet a little bit at the beginning of the game. But as it progressed, you're learning about your team. We were able to play some man-to-man. We've been working on that. Put a bigger lineup. We had some strange lineups with our foul trouble with 2 point guards in the game with Elijah and Quad A. And so there was a lot of things that we've been working on. And now, how did that play out in a big game? And fortunately for us, we were able to learn a lot, not play great, and come out with a great win and be able to have a lot of teachable moments. So it was more so, to be honest with you, we didn't know. I didn't know. I didn't know how they would respond. It says a lot about the team. I know it says a lot about our culture, and we'll always keep fighting. And we were able to just make plays. You got to make plays. You can't just say, okay, we're going to fight. Guys going to have to make plays. They're going to have to adapt. They're going to have to share the ball, and you're going to have to make shots. And we did all those things.
What were your thoughts on Quade's debut with you guys?
I thought at the beginning he had 9 assists, which was really good. I still felt like he was, the rhythm of the game. It was a little bit different. I felt like he was anxious at the beginning. Normal things that when you haven't played for a year, but we know how good he is, and he's just going to keep getting better and better the more that we dance together. It's just you're gonna have more chemistry. He's a great point guard. He can hit open shots, and he can make others around him better.
You had Isaiah and Jaden make some pretty poised, mature plays there in the last couple minutes. Is that less of an issue now with freshmen just because of the experiences they're having by the time they get to college, whether it's national team stuff or the AAU circuit?
I think there's special freshmen and there's really good. It all depends. I don't think it's a ranking or whatnot. We talked about getting the right kid in our program. Those guys are not only talented, they're unselfish. They want to win. They make the extra pass. A lot of those threes that we made at the end were off double teams where those guys made the plays and the passes. And so that just shows their winning mentality and the buy-in to our culture. They're just incredible talents. They play the right way, and we're lucky to have them.
On the last possession for Baylor, you decided to switch to man.
Yeah.
Can you give me a little bit of insight to the method of the madness?
Well, we've been practicing it, and we were always, early, middle of the second half, we probably wanted to play more of it, but we had foul trouble. Isaiah had 3, Hamir had 4, Jaden had 3. Wanted to change something up, wanted to see if something else could work, but we stayed in it, and then we got to the timeout, and the coaches said, hey, what do you think about man on the last possession? And we'd been practicing it for these types of situations. We were able to call a timeout and get Jamal in, and we were able to get a big lineup in. And when you go 6'6", 6'7", 6'9", 6'9", and 6'10", all can guard multiple positions, we were able to switch, keep them off that three-point line, and use our length and size, which was difficult for them at the end. And I think it threw them through a loop a little bit. So it worked, and I'm sure you'll see more of it.
At times you had Jaden, had Jaden at the top of the zone.
Mm-hmm.
How is the zone different when you have a 6'9" guy?
Well, you still have to execute. I mean, it's kind of like the picture that there was on the internet. It was Manute Ball and Muggsy Bogues, and then they had the picture of Jaden, and they had the picture of Quade. You know what I mean? I don't know if you ever saw that picture when they played. I forget what NBA team. Listen, Jaden is an elite defender. If he's at the forward, if he's at the center, if he's at the point guard, whatever it may be, he just moves. Flies around. He's got great length. He's got great instincts, and it poses a different problem. But he's good all around the court, and that's the thing about a lot of our team is we have a lot of positionless players. We have a lot of guys that can play multiple positions. Now the good thing is that we can give different looks to different teams and pose problems. The difficult things for the challenges for us is now in the game. Like I had Jamal Bay at the 4 at one time. Like I used to use Matisse just based on a given situation and. Those positions offensively are the things that we just need to get better at because there's going to be a lot of different lineups that we have in the game.
Do you have a sense as to how deep your rotation is? Because this first game, it seemed like you didn't really need your bench too much.
Well, I just went, I coach with my gut, and, you have a feeling when you go in, I'm going to play these guys, and this is how we win, this is what we have to execute, and then you get into the flow of the game and get a foul here, this happens, this is how they're calling it, and then you just got to make some decisions based on personnel. We played Jamal Bay at the 1. We were big in our zone during that stretch, which caused a lot of problems for Baylor. So. I've said this before. Our 10, 11, and 12 could impact the game just as much as our 7, 8, and 9. I think every game is going to be different. We can go small, we can go big. We've got a lot of options and ways that we can hurt other teams, and everybody just needs to be ready. It could be something different every night.
And Mike, on the versatility of playing zone and man-to-man, is that something you've always wanted to have in your arsenal? Is it something that this team, their length and ability to switch, kind of chicken egg first?
Well, I think it goes back to what can you be really good at. I don't think you can be really, really elite playing a lot of different defenses. You know, you got to kind of hang your hat on one thing. I've always believed that. Teams that change and they play 4 or 5 different defenses usually aren't good defensively. They're just trying to, see what sticks. So we've been that zone team. That's going to be what we hang our hat on. But with the ability to play man-to-man, I think we've got a lot of versatile players. We've got size, guys who can really move their feet. That's why we played a lot in Italy. We played a lot in our practice, and we put ourselves in different situations. And so we're going to utilize that strength. That can be something that's really good for us, and it helped us in Baylor. It helped us get in the game. It changed the game up a little bit, even in the first half. As bad as poorly as we played, we were only down 7. That was a very confident thing for us, as we couldn't play worse, and we were only down 7. And I thought the man-to-man changed a little bit of the game in
Couple
the
more,
first
guys.
half.
What can you tell us about Mount St. Mary's?
A team that you can't take lightly. They had Georgetown down 19, and so this is a team. They've got really good guards. They didn't win a lot of games last year, but they've got a lot of returning players that are sophomores. They got a lot of experience last year. They're confident kids. They went right at Georgetown and played. We respect everybody we play, and we know that we're going to have to go out and play well to win. And, we're focused on how do we get better. We've got to get a lot better. We can't go out and play the way that we did, put ourselves in the sand trap for, 75% of the game. We've got to get better. And these guys had a good practice yesterday. We'll have a good one today. And, the MGB, doesn't matter, get better.
How's Marcus, and as deep as you are, any chance he redshirts this year?
I don't know. I think we'll see in the next couple games, see what it is. But he, his teeth were bad. He's had a tough run in practice, getting hit a couple times, even after having his mouth problem. So we'll see how it goes.
Would you do bring Brockman back for?
Bring him back, elbow him a little bit, get physical. We've had our practices have been very competitive, been very good.
And also, it was announced that you guys will play Tulane next year and China.
Yep.
Is there something about that trip, that's a special time with the school?
I think, the Pac-12's been really bullish with, the China deal. It's been great for the Pac-12 and our league to get an opportunity to take your team, overseas, just like what we did in Italy, is just an incredible experience. Gives you a chance to bond, be in a place that's incredible, and play a good basketball game. You learn a different culture. I think those are all great learning experiences for our guys, and stuff that they'll remember for the rest of their life. There are those moments. You go back to, just like the Baylor game is a moment, going to Italy is a moment, bond. You'll remember them, brain tattoos for the rest of your life. And so we're honored to be the representative for the Pac-12 and going out there and playing that game. Really, really excited for that.